It's Final Friday.
Well, a few days before we recorded this, you posted a TikTok about how to take an at-home COVID test, and in the video, you tested positive for COVID.
Yes.
You're fully vaccinated, but how are you feeling?
I feel great. The video, so we shot that, I sometimes say we, but I'm the only person shooting this in my apartment. My wife is here, but she's not part of that. I just have it on basically an iPhone on a comically large tripod. But yeah, I shot that Monday, and I tested positive the Thursday prior. So really the weekend, felt like a really bad cold, as I said in later TikToks after that. And then by Monday, I actually started feeling a lot better, and it was a breakthrough case, but I definitely think you can thank the vaccine for how basically nothing else happened. I never had a fever, was never coughing.
I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. And this week I got my intern back, and that was just by happenstance. But I tried to intentionally incorporate that into the TikTok as if we hired him back because Dave was dying. But it worked out really well that he could help pick up the slack this week, and so that's been really fun to bring him back. We have him for at least a month. So yeah, it all worked out fine. I feel like 100% better now. This is just a week after testing positive, and so it's all good. And I was glad I got to use that as an example. Like, hey, it sucks if you have a breakthrough, but it's much better if you're vaccinated. And here's a at-home test in case you're not sure if it's allergies or not.
Yeah, well, this week was a little different because sometimes you do TikToks referencing your personal life, but most of the time they're inspired by the day's news, right? Like, how does something go from the pages of the Washington Post to a viral TikTok? Like, are you just scanning the headlines first thing in the morning and writing down ideas? Or what is your daily process like?
Yeah, typically it's kind of what you just said. Obviously, this was an exception where I got COVID, but I thought, I thought about it over the weekend while, half awake on the couch watching an entire season of The Amazing Race. And I thought, I probably should just actually tell people this happened because it'll be a really healthy way to say, hey, you can get COVID if you have a vaccine, but it's okay, and here's what you have to do. And so that was kind of a one-off example, but generally speaking, it's either popular news events or something that I find is something that people aren't understanding or fully need a better explainer that's happening in the news. So yeah, we kind of start the morning at 9 a.m. or earlier. I'm looking at the 5 most popular stories of the Washington Post, and I try to see if a couple of those could fit into the 2 TikToks we're going to make that day. And I'm also scrolling TikTok and seeing if there's some new trends or something or new sound or funny audio that we could incorporate directly into one of those news stories. And if not, we just make a sort of sketch-based TikTok that's totally original, but it's really fun to see what works every day. And every day really is a new day. And you could go from 2 TikToks that just kind of totally did not do well, and then the next day you have one with 1 million views. You're like, okay, great. So it's kind of nice that every day I get a quick refresh.
Yeah, you've been doing these at home since lockdown started, since March 2020. So you have this impressive, you post these on Twitter as well, which is how I first started following you. And you have this incredibly long thread of TikTok videos you've been making at home since quarantine started. I'm amazed at your creativity. There's just so many wild ideas in there.
Yeah, I have this like fear every time I add to the thread that I'm going to accidentally delete one of the threads and break it. I don't know how I would do that. It would be a complete like weird freak accident, but I'm just so afraid I'm going to break that thread somehow that I already have in the back of my head. Like, I know someone at Twitter, I could contact them and make sure I get it recovered if that happens. Like, that's all in my head. But anyway, I'm very happy that thread is, I had the foresight to start it on March 11th when this all happened, when I thought it was going to be a 3-week-long thread. And, now we just were told yesterday that we're not coming back to the office for the Washington Post is not until January at least. So that thread's going to reach at least 900.
Wow.
Might get over 1,000. We'll see. It's weird. I have 2 minds about it. Obviously, I don't want to be locked out. I don't want there to be a pandemic, but there's a part of me who's like, wow, 1,000 would be cool. But, I don't want that.
The monkey's paw just curled.
Exactly.